Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Quant. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description below you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It's free to join in the general chat area. Just add mention member staff. We'll be happy to help you out. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff now. So basically within this, we were talking about the possibility of us completing this B wave here. And for the most part, I am still keeping an eye on that. We do have a potential for a bullish structure here where we look at this as a one, two, three, and then this fourth, and then a fifth to the upside still. We would have to argue that this could potentially turn into a diagonal pattern if it is still going to play out. But we are very close to invalidating this is a fourth and a fifth here. So we have to give it a bit of space and see how it plays out. But effectively, we could actually complete this as a corrective structure into here. So we can see we actually came up into the 618 region, and I am still looking for this potential C wave to the downside here. So it hasn't proved itself yet. We haven't got good enough structure to say that we're not going to be continuing to the downside here. So we need to just see how this reacts. And obviously if we lose this 101.3 area, that would invalidate any extension to the upside from here. And then losing this low point of this 94.3 would actually invalidate any bullish potential that we have here. So effectively, we would have to look towards the potential of actually moving down towards the 69 if that does play out. Okay, so let's talk about the way that we could break down. So because this is basically what I'm looking for here. I want confirmation of this, and we can argue that we're still within an extension to the downside. I'm going to come here. The problem is within this is we'd have to argue that this is a diagonal here to start with as a wave one, if we are looking for this to break down as a five-wave structure, in which case we would then have to argue that we have this as a 1-2 into here. This would then become a 3, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So, if we do actually break down one more time here, we can argue that this is something like this playing out, where it would have to be, hold on, let me just drop this to there. Just say it's to there, and then that is a flat. So we don't actually overlap. So this is possible that this could be a move like this, where this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this low point, and we're basically going to get an additional fourth and a fifth here. So basically, what we'd be looking at is something like this, where we would be looking for a fourth wave here, and then looking for that fifth wave to the downside. So, it is possible we could see this actually play out one more time to the downside here, and that we could actually look to see this complete as a five-wave move in this rectangle area here if we come off this previous fourth wave. So I'm going to actually just measure this now and see what our rejection area would potentially be here. It would have to be from here. So our 382 would actually be this 139.7, and this 50% would be at the top of this fourth wave. So if we actually do move back up here, it is possible we could complete this as an ABC, so a zigzag pattern where this becomes an A, we come back down here for a B, and then we come back up for a C. So this is something that could play out. Invalidation of this would actually come by moving above this 147.1, and effectively from this we could actually look to continue for this fifth wave. So if I take it off that 50% area, I just want to make sure that this box is in the right area. It is slightly lower down. So actually, if we do complete a fourth wave higher up, we could still potentially look for a drop into this zone here of this 132.0 to this 129.1. So this could be a zone we actually look to push down one more time if we are extending down. So the problem is we do have a lot of overlap here, but there is potential of extension within these waves. So we just got to be a bit careful with how we count this and where we are looking for our target zones. So if we do move up past this 140. It's actually higher here. Sorry, that invalidation. So that invalidation would actually be up here at this 147. If we move above 147, that would invalidate the possibility of this as a fourth wave, though we wouldn't really want to move too much higher than this previous fourth wave here, because this is right on that 50%. And if we do move up past this 50%, it becomes less likely that we're actually going to get this structure to the downside. So the problem with this is if we're looking for this to potentially be a five-wave move, we can see that we haven't actually come down deep enough to say that this is a five-way move. It could just be a zigzag, and then actually we look to push back up as a corrective structure. So we'll talk about that in a second. Sorry, as continuation to the upside rather. And basically we could only look at this once we start to get better structure and actually look to progress down towards this 115.5 area, where we could then look at this potentially as a 1-2. We might actually come down into this zone and then actually look for a retracement back to the upside. So if we do get this fifth wave here, we'll have to see if we get further extension and we actually push down into this zone, or whether we actually get a bounce here and potentially come back up into this range again. You know, if we do move into this green box area and we are looking for continuation to the downside, we can argue that if we come back down, it depends where exactly we complete here, but effectively our 50% would be here towards this 144, and then that 786 would be up here at this 152.2. We wouldn't want to go too much higher than this. When we start crossing the 786, it makes it more likely that it's going to invalidate. And basically within this, what we'd want to see is this move up, face rejection again, and look to push to the downside. So this 148.3 to this 147.3 is also an interesting area here in the golden pocket, which is this little consolidation area and there on the support. So, you know, if we do actually come back into the zone, that could be a little area that we actually look to retest and break down. This is obviously valid. These fibs are only valid if we move down into this green box, obviously. These ones from here will be slightly different. So, you know, we just need to give it a bit of space here and see what happens. Um, if we do get this additional fourth and fifth to the downside, we can see that it would actually cross this A wave high, which would make the other option less likely. So we're going to go talk about that potential option for a second now. Effectively, what we were talking about previously is that we could also look at this as a five-wave move to the upside. And what that was looking at is not this one, it's this one. Looking at this structure potentially as a diagonal within here for 1, 2, and then looking for this to potentially be a fourth wave, and then actually looking to push up for a fifth. So, like I said, we haven't actually come across this 133 area. So we are still within that area of a fourth wave. So we could still see this play out to the upside as a five-wave move. If we do get this play out like this, effectively our target zone would be this 187.5 to this 173.2 at the lower end. So this could be a little area we actually look to target out if we do move back to the upside here. And we'd have to just give it be a little bit careful with this, because you know, if we do start to move much higher than this area, we can argue that maybe we have an extension in here where we actually have this extending within the waves here. And but that would only be, that would look something like this, but there is nothing like this guaranteed yet. So you know, if we do move up higher, actually, sorry, that is the wrong one. What I'm saying is, you know, if we do get a impulsive move up here from this area here, you know, we'd have to be careful depending on where we come into. You know, if we do move above this 198.8, it could indicate that we actually have further extension here, though this would be invalidated by actually moving down below this point here of this 127.6. That would invalidate that option. So, you know, this is something we're just going to have to keep an eye on. If we do start to get some impulsive structure here, we manage to stay above this wave 4 area, you know, we could argue that we are going to start to see some impulsive moves playing out here, but I don't find it very likely. my primary idea is that we're still going to head down, but we could still see this push to the upside for as long as we are staying above this line. So the only other way we could count this as an impulse is if we look at this in isolation as a 1, 2, 1, and then we look for a 2, or we are looking for a diagonal here where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, and then actually we form a fourth wave here that intersects this wave 1. So there's a few things about this, and I'm actually going to come out onto the bigger time frame to do this. Uh, Basically, within this structure, what we'd want is our wave 4 would have to be longer than our wave 2. So our wave 4 would have to come down past this 125.7. And what they would be looking for is basically a three-wave move down into this area. And then we'd want to see a bigger five-wave structure play out here. So effectively, I'm just going to throw this on that 1-to-1. But what we would then have to have is also a fifth wave that is actually longer than this third wave. So we can argue that if we are looking at the potential for a diagonal here, let me get this right on that point there. That would be a move above this 204 to confirm. Like I said, there's nothing really indicating it at the moment besides the fact that we can count this potentially as a five-wave move. So we just have to give it a bit of space here and see what happens. Um, if we do move down deeper, either we're going to be looking for the potential of this diagonal to the upside here, or we're just going to look for that breakdown. The other thing that we want to just point out here, looking at bullish setups, is the potential that we could look at this whole move here as a wave 2 to the downside. So the typical zone we'd actually look to travel would be this 129.2 to this 112.4. If we do move into this zone and we manage to find support and we actually hold this area here, we could then start being on the lookout for a bigger push to the upside where this becomes a 1, 2, this becomes a 1, 2, and then actually we look to push for a bigger third wave here. Confirmation of that would only come by crossing this 287, but it is something that is possible. So if we do actually break down here but fail to achieve those impulsive targets, we could see something like this where we either look at this move as a potential 1, 2, and then looking for that third wave, or alternatively, this could all just be a bigger corrective structure where this becomes an A. We come back down into this zone for a B, and then actually look to push to the upside for that C wave, and that would just be a bigger corrective structure here, which wouldn't look to achieve this 287. So there is a couple of options here. We need to see how this actually plays out and whether we actually continue to break down here or whether we can manage to actually rally here and take some of these high points and validate these options to the downside. Like I said, I am still looking for that C wave. There's not too much indicating it's starting to play out here, but there is potential that we could see this play out as a 1-2, 1-2, and then we look to break down. But yeah, we need to see those moves prove themselves. Okay, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comments section. Always happy to hear from you, and in the description below you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It's free to join. In there you'll also find affiliate links for Prime, XBT, and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis when we're doing our trading. Why not check them out? And if you use those links, it does help support the channel, so we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great evening, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.